I'm using Naples yellow, white, uh, permanent rose magenta, ultramarine, yellow green, cadmium orange, cadmium yellow. I don't have these two mixed in right now. But what the mixtures I have here, I've decided that I want to make this area up in the top lighter so that the main part of the subject will show up a little better. I'm going to make this lighter and then maybe some darker areas right through here to make the middle area pop better. This needs to be just a tiny bit lighter. And I want the colors to be, I want to let some of the lighter, the under areas show. I want other colors to show through. I don't want to put down flat areas of color. Go over here, the Naples yellow has a little bit of the rose in it to make it relate to the rose that's in this part of the painting. Putting using a very light touch of the brush because I don't want to cover up all of the paint that's down there. I might put a little bit of the really light greens in a few places. There's a little bit of blue under the bottom there. I'm going to let it show through. I want you to see the brush strokes as well. I want this to be light enough that these will read as darker. The colors in the background to be fairly neutral. Not very carefully mixed. Now I'm going to change brushes rather than clean this. I don't use any solvents, so I usually just use several different brushes and one brush of each size for lights and one for darks. And when I'm finished, I'll wash my brushes in half Murphy oil and half water so that I don't have to use any solvents. And I haven't used any solvents in the paints either. Now I want some really dark areas. Going to mix probably right on the painting itself. That's ultramarine blue that I'm putting in there. Put a little bit of the magenta in it as well. Again, I'm using the same colors that I used in the flowers. That way I'm going with the full value range. Most of the painting is in the middle value range, about a 5, but then I want the really dark areas and the really light areas to make the whole thing give more excitement to it. We'll mix some blue and green together. I'm going to put some more down here, but I don't want it to be as dark as these darks or as light as that. So I think I'll probably use this paint shaper and mix in some colors, take some Naples yellow, and I'm going to keep them fairly neutral. Maybe try to put some magenta in it and see how that works. But the yellow neutralizes that magenta and lightens it. There's green already on my brush, so I get a nice neutral. So I'll work into the edge of those darks that I put down. Just a little bit darker than that blossom. Brush it on up into there. Modify that color again just a little bit. Put a little bit of orange into it. A little bit of variety to it. Lighten it just a little bit with some of these rows. Switch to a smaller brush. Rose is very intense. I'm going to go back into the middle of some of these flowers and put just a little bit of that in there. a little bit of magenta to that rose and white. What I'm trying to do is to soften the edges of some of these strokes that I just put in there.